Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Silver screams. What does it mean?
Ooh.
Ooh, silver moans.
I'm so scared. Ooh.
Movie moans. We're just doing porno movies this
Oh
month.
my God.
No, we were going to cover Anguish this week, but it's not streaming on any of the legitimate streaming services. So we pivoted to The Last Action Hero, which the reason that is listed.
It feels like it was probably a very big pivot. I don't know much about Anguish.
It's a pretty dark movie.
But the name of the movie is Anguish.
It gave me a lot of anguish when it was not streaming. How dare they? Any movie that is over a certain age, how dare you not be streaming anywhere?
It's weird. It looks like it used to be maybe on Prime, and then they removed it.
They do shit like that too, yeah. You could be in the middle of the first season of Offer Files, enjoying yourself, living your life, and they will rip it out from underneath you.
It was on Zelda Rubin Prime, and then they pulled it.
That's right.
Yeah,
I am from Zelda Rubin Prime.
I want her to be on like a beer stein. Like her face on like a stein.
Would you like to fill this up? Would you like me to fill your Zelda Rubin beer stein?
Make the stein in the shape of Zelda Rubinstein completely.
That's just
win Ben Zelda Rubinstein's money.
She doesn't have any money. She's dead.
Oh.
She doesn't need it anymore. She's with Jesus.
Oh my gosh, stop it.
In the light.
He's like, welcome to heaven, Zelda Rubinstein.
Unfortunately, you're not allowed in because you made those Poltergeist movies.
They're dark-sided.
They're dark-sided?
They're dark-sided, so...
Good luck. So we're going to do roulette with Andy. He's watched Pet Sematary Bloodlines.
It's not far off, actually.
Yeah, no doubt.
I've seen a little bit of it.
They hid that movie from everyone. There was a reason.
Yeah.
They didn't really, but you know what I mean.
What else is going on? Patreon.
We just recorded Origins. We're finally getting to the end of 2011. That's right. If you're listening to the show and you're like, I can only go back to like 2018, 2017 on your on Apple Podcasts. Guess what, bitches? We've been around since 2006.
2006.
And on our Patreon, we go back to our old episodes right now. Last episode of 2011, and we record a new introduction. One of us listens for the things we need to apologize for in this new year, 2023. Things you can't do anymore.
Things that make you go,
And, you know, what were we talking about back then? What was the scuttlebutt, Andy? How was politics?
It's not the hellscape it is now.
Well, dear.
but we probably thought it was.
Do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I was so pleasant in the Obama years. I felt so good.
Yeah. I liked him a lot. I mean, the drone stuff was a bit of a...
Hey, not to get too political. I'm not saying that Obama, the man, is president. I'm saying during the Obama years.
I didn't feel rage.
I felt pretty good.
I felt really good during the Reagan years because I was eating marshmallows, and laying on the floor, and I was watching Masters of the Universe every day.
Well, I'm glad that you're
it's true.
a politically neutral child.
Toddler.
Can you imagine?
Rest in peace, Rosalind Carter.
Yeah.
You're a great lady.
Mm-hmm.
And the world is worse off for not having you here.
Yeah, what a great couple of people.
My mom was obsessed with Jimmy Carter. I remember my mom writing his name in for like every election when I was a kid. And so Jimmy Carter was a big deal in my house, and Rosalind Carter by extension. So R.I.P. lady.
Good Perez.
Just good person. Good man. We happen to have two things line up. A good man became I think good president. You think good president.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot of arguments against it, but I thought it.
And this is why you come to NOTLP. What we're going to do is we're really going to dissect this. What makes
Night of the Living Politics.
a good president?
But I am basing that on the recollection of a 1-year-old baby.
There it is.
Which is what I was.
Even alive.
Yeah.
He was like, he's a peanut farmer.
I wasn't born until after Reagan was inaugurated.
Butter.
The only thing I know about Jimmy Carter was what I saw from The Simpsons.
Sure.
Yeah.
Peanuts. Yeah. A Georgia accent.
Mm-hmm. A brother who's larger than life. Billy Beer.
Billy Beer, which I only learned about not that long ago.
Yeah.
I had never heard about.
There's a can of Billy Beer next door in the workshop. Yeah.
Oh shit, we gotta go find that.
I don't think there's beer in it though. It might have been pinholed out if you didn't want to drink it.
I promise I do not want to drink. Would you? Okay. You find a random old can of beer from like before you were born, and somebody gives you how much would it take to drink it?
A beer from the year I was born?
Yeah, say there's a Billy Beer out there from 1977?
Yeah.
All right. How much?
How much of the can do I have to drink?
That's an important question.
Half.
6 ounces. 6 ounces of Billy Beer. 6 ounces of 47-year-old Billy Beer.
I'd probably do it for
$1,500.
Oh, wow.
It can't be that bad. I mean, people keep wine forever, right?
Well, I'm not saying you can't negotiate me down, but that would be my starting bid.
$750.
Why are you going down?
I'm trying to negotiate with
What if I had a Reggie bar? And I whipped out a Reggie bar right now. Would you guys help me eat it?
What if there was an unopened Slimer? What was the...
the Ecto Cooler. That
Ecto Cooler.
happened. Somebody did a YouTube video drinking old Ecto Cooler.
How much would that take?
Yeah, I don't think it's that bad.
All right.
Honestly, that's a bad
From the
example
80s.
because we can verify it's not that gross.
Like 40 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 40-year-old Ecto Cooler, and they said it was just more potent Ecto Cooler.
Oof.
Ooh, concentrated.
Yeah.
And they were fine. Like they checked in on them 30 days later.
Oh, I don't know. They're probably dead.
You need like several checkups.
Yeah.
Before I'm gonna. Yeah. Okay.
They're like, in lieu of flowers,
So Patreon.com
$4,500.
send $4,500 to the real Ghostbusters.
/OTLP. You'll find Origins there, and then we do Topicana as well.
Oh my God. I may need to tell Kelley something real quick while I'm thinking about it. Is that okay? You be bringing up Ghostbusters, made me think about it.
Go for it.
And the listeners will want to know. They probably already know. But they you know about the new Ghostbusters movie?
Yeah, I've seen the trailer.
But have you heard what they inspired them to write it? The cartoon Real Ghostbusters. They said they were making a feature-length Real Ghostbusters movie is what they're doing.
With this movie.
They're basically taking the tone of it and shifting it away from the movie and towards the cartoon is what they said.
Well, let's hope that's true because I'd like to see that, but
I want that for you.
I'm not sure how I feel about the everything freezing. I need there to be lots of weird ghosts.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I didn't care for Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
And I don't want a repeat of that. So
Paul Rudd movie, right?
Paul Rudd.
It was very forgettable to me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the Afterlife.
It's all fan service, like the whole movie. So it's kind of fun if you're a real hardcore fan of the first movie, but it's literally like they hit all the they have this great setup. You think you're getting something like completely new, and they're gonna pass the torch, and then they bring back everything from the first movie and just in kind of lesser form, and then you're like, oh, that was kind of felt nice. It was like seeing an old friend but the old friend is kind of falling apart.
Yep. They're just kind of telling the same stories.
Yeah.
Nothing new has happened to them.
Nothing new. They've been doing the same shit. Yep, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I hope to see, if they're referencing the cartoon, then I hope they see like Egon's hair in human form.
Swirly
Oh, shit, that would be cool. Too bad Harold Ramis isn't around to play him.
cone funnel thing.
But Bill Murray's in it, and Dan Aykroyd.
As ghosts, I think.
No, I think they're Ghostbusters. At least I know Bill Murray is because he's in the uniform in the trailer I saw.
Oh, tremendous.
That's right about it.
Yeah.
So, Topicana. Andy, do you want to tease your
No,
squeeze?
I don't have one.
That's okay. Whoever
I'm squeezed out of questions.
I like to squeeze my teas.
one of us has a question for the rest of us, and we have to answer it. It's called Topicana.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll probably be turkey related, my question.
Oh, fucking hell,
It's 'cause
man.
Thanksgiving's coming up.
Thanksgiving.
Turkey
turkey.
day. Everybody want a turkey day.
You don't like turkey.
I don't love turkey. I like it on a sandwich. I'll eat. I don't hate it, but I don't. It's not my fave by any stretch. Sometimes I do hate it.
I don't think anybody really loves turkey.
Yeah, I mean,
I bought a turkey just to buy it. It's in the freezer. It's enough to feed all of you if and when I cook it. I mean, I definitely will cook it. Do you want me to send you a message and be like, because it's more than Amy and I will eat.
It's fresh.
We'll have
it's
some
young.
turkey.
It's a turkey.
It's a fresh young turkey. It's a fine young cannibal.
turkey.
I love it. Turkey sandwich is like my heaven. Turkey on Thanksgiving, like just straight from the bird, does not much for me at all. It's weird.
I love it when it's cooked right and it's
You gotta
moist.
throw a shit ton of gravy.
Well, I'm like
gravy.
you.
Shocking, Freddy. Oh my God, what a...
I don't like dry turkey. Oh, guys, I'm going to say it. I'm against
Somebody
dry
has
turkey.
to. Oh my gosh.
Somebody has to.
Turkey's a little dry.
Such a brave opinion.
Turkey's a little dry.
Frogert's also cursed.
Just thinking of them eating that National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, just the sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
how dry it was.
Sorry, Kelly.
That skin looked real good though.
I would have.
Skin
It was
probably
crispy.
Real, it was crispy.
I was just gonna say, I'm like you. I
Here's the
like
heart.
a turkey bacon club sandwich.
Yeah.
But first of all, you can't have shitty.
Sounds good.
You can't have shitty deli turkey.
Yeah.
It's got to be good turkey first of all,
Yeah.
and that's the way I like it best. I will eat Thanksgiving Day turkey, and sometimes it's been really good. It's not my jam for the most part.
Yeah.
So
So a
it
breast or a thigh or leg, man.
Dork meat, baby.
Yeah.
I like the
Andy's
dork
dark
meat.
meat.
It's got just whatever really thigh,
I love a big,
a
juicy
turkey
breast.
I just don't like turkey that much.
It's
Are
fine.
you
It's
glad?
not the star of the show for me. What the star of the show for me is mashed potatoes, mixing corn in the mashed potatoes, pouring a ton of gravy on
I
it.
think we're doing like roasts. Like I think we're doing a ribeye roast.
Oh,
damn.
my mom
I'll
told me.
take that over turkey any day of the week.
My mom just told me this story. I hope I get it right. She was out the other day with a friend, and they were at a restaurant, and she was overhearing a conversation between another patron and the waitress, and he was asking her about her plans for Thanksgiving, and she says, well, my family's Italian, so we like to do lasagna on Thanksgiving. And he told her, you ought to just leave then, like the country.
Really?
And that is the least American thing I have ever heard, sir.
Mm-hmm.
You eat what the fuck you want on Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
That's right.
but you just be thankful for it. That's all. That's the only rule, is to be thankful for something on that day.
What
Some
they
people
should have
eat
said
ass
is,
on Thanksgiving.
I'll be thankful for the day you die, sir.
God,
Do you think anybody prays before they eat ass?
I'm sure.
Like they say grace, the blessings.
So thank you for this bounty, Lord.
I pledge allegiance.
The blessing.
The blessing. Play ball. And then she blah, 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 blah.
You gotta join hands.
Yeah. Betty Boop's eating my butt. Help.
All right, so we got Thanksgiving.
God,
talk
that
out of the way.
guy has really strong opinions on Thanksgiving, huh?
Well, she was in a part of town you'd expect somebody to have that kind of opinion.
Yeah.
Lasagna, get out of my country. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it was being playful, but you never, it's also like, it is alienating to have someone tell you you're weird because you decided not to eat turkey on Thanksgiving. That's nothing a dentist should do. A dentist should always make you feel welcome and safe because they're in your
Honestly,
mouth.
You know, Kelly and I, like, why have we eaten turkey all these years? Why have we allowed it to continue? We just went with the flow, and we didn't try.
Isn't it
I was
Benjamin
trapped.
Franklin's fault?
Hmm?
Isn't it Benjamin Franklin's fault? And he wanted the turkey to be the national bird.
Yeah, that might be why. I don't know. But he did.
Ugly bird, Ben Franklin.
Yeah. It does have some tasty titties on it, though. I'll tell you what. With like gravy and
Tasty
mashed
titties.
potatoes and corn, like you were saying. Oh, man, I'm getting
I think we're hungry.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, can you tell that we're a little hungry?
I had a banana before the show, so did
yeah.
Amy. We said that on Origins.
Oh, that's right.
I don't think people understand that we had bananas in this current.
Did you guys eat it like Lady and the Tramp? Just meat in the middle?
Love a banana. Miss a banana.
Miss a
Yeah.
banana.
Does that really like with keto? Those are absolutely probably way too much sugar.
It's
right?
bananas for your blood sugar. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Let me see what mine is. I can check my blood sugar in real time now, which is the coolest
You
thing ever.
guys, he's
It's
like
stable.
bionic.
That's good.
It did not spike from the banana.
I'm happy to hear it.
That's great to know. Anything else for the top of the show?
No, ma'am.
Sports corner?
Oh, no, ma'am.
Mm-mm.
I don't think anybody wants to hear about sports. Not this audience.
Not at this table.
Not this table.
Well, if the Bengals were doing great,
If they were doing
fuck
great,
you, I would say it anyway.
it'd be fun, but they're not.
We don't know yet. He could, for all we know, he could take us to the playoffs.
Hey, listen, anything could happen. But also, holy shit.
Yeah.
And that's just is what it is. But
it is.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Andy. Not Rod.
Yeah, Pet Sematary, Bloodlines. Good cast.
I know, right?
It's got the Pam Grier. It's got the who's the little boy from E.T.
Oh yeah, Luke. Henry Thomas.
Henry Thomas
From all the Flanagan stuff.
David Duchovny.
Yep. Fox Mulder.
This is the one where they try to bring in the Timmy Baterman story from the book that they left out of the previous adaptation, right?
Yes.
But unfortunately, a good cast was wasted.
Yeah.
I mean, David Duchovny's a sleepy actor anyway.
Yeah.
He's extra sleepy.
The bits I saw of this, I started it and I couldn't stay awake through it.
I just want to tuck him in. Like, come on, David, you're tuckered out.
You look tired.
Let's put you to bed, David.
Isn't there something kind of comical about his performance in this? Like, because it's like so clearly David Duchovny the whole time.
No, it's all the performances are comical because they were clearly not trying at all.
Yeah.
Because I think they kind of knew.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's obviously it's a prequel. And you don't want to tell the same story over again. Just so they talked about the origin of the burial ground and the settlers that found it.
What?
I just don't like that.
Yeah.
That's not canon.
They just try to do too much.
They do. They kind of they shine way too much light on the whole story from the little bits.
For me, like I said, like you don't want to make the same movie, but for me, the scary part of the first one was not. They showed too much of the resurrected people.
Yeah.
In this one, it was more about the zombies than the actual first movie, where it's about grief and the lengths you go to.
Yeah.
In spite of warnings and knowing better. And it had some really good horror moments, but this one is just like a zombie movie.
Where do you stand on Pet Sematary 2?
I don't remember it. Does that ever
liked
refer
it.
long?
Didn't I like it?
I liked it. It's it's like a completely different movie than the first one, but it's
Did I like it?
entertaining.
Is that your question? Or are you asking if you liked it?
Yeah. Do you know if I liked it?
I don't recall if you liked
I
it.
don't know either. I think I did.
I think we covered it on the show.
Not
But that
even
was
that
a while
long ago.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it. But I like Pet Sematary 1 is one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. It is really one of the better adaptations. Of course, Stephen King did write the screenplay, and I like it better after seeing the newer adaptation because the stuff I missed from the first one, the '87 version, some of it they put back in this one, but didn't do it. Like, it was like, oh, they didn't need that. They should have kept this and done this instead. The original adaptation, much better, really good. Actually,
Much
really
more
good.
memorable.
Good, Steve. Good representation of that book too.
And this is a prequel to the remake.
That was a good book.
Yeah, great book.
The 2019 when the new one
I
came
don't
out.
remember. Yeah,
So
somewhere
because
around
it kind of fudged the timeline a little bit, like this Timmy Baterman,
Yeah,
he is a Vietnam vet as opposed to World War II, right?
it takes place in the 60s or early 70s, right?
he came back from Vietnam in the book.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah,
Or was it in the movie? It was Vietnam too.
Yeah.
Are you sure it was Vietnam in the book? Because didn't it take place like in the 80s? And Judd was talking about it when he was a young man.
and the kid came back from Vietnam.
It was Vietnam.
Oh, okay. Because
So it was only like 20 years prior to, in the book, it was only about 20 years prior to
Yeah.
the events in the book.
Judd was a young dude. Yeah, like in his 30s, ish.
well, time was rough on Judge Crandall because he's 20 years old in this movie. And if we're judging by 1969 to 82.
Well, you got to.
Oh, it's because 40.
This is a prequel to the remake.
Okay, but the remake, even what did he look like in the remake?
It was John Lithgow.
Okay, that makes more sense then, because I'm still going off of who's the actor? Fred Gwynn.
Yeah, and the original book took place in 83, And so,
So Judd was just like our age in the book, or younger.
he was older.
He was older than us.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
Anyway.
interesting. I'm gonna have to reread it. I've forgotten a lot of that.
But for me, the scary part of the original movie is how kind of grounded it is.
Yeah.
And almost realistic that this could it wasn't like beat you in the face with it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
And this is what this movie did. It was a lot of horror noises like and whispering and just horror sounds.
It's we don't trust the audience to know, or we don't really have we don't have the strength or compelling story to do it without this stuff. So or a little bit of both.
It spoon feeds you the horror.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this is scary. We're gonna tell you it's scary.
Now, here's a question: would it be better if they had stripped that score out? Is it the score?
No,
the score
it wasn't the
actually hurt
score. It was part. That was one of the problems.
One of his bullet points
Yeah.
on his list of problems.
because the people that get brought back to life, for some reason they have like these supernatural powers now, and they can like read your mind almost, and they talk
That is in the book.
in like exorcist speak. They're
Wow.
like teasing you a little bit and getting to your fears. Yeah, I read the book too, but I don't remember it.
Yeah, that's what, because not to spoil Pet Sematary for anybody, but in the book, we find out that Judd used to go visit prostitutes, sex workers, when he would go to the city, and never told his wife about it. And the first time when he witnesses the Timmy Baderman reanimation, like he calls him out on it. Like the reanimated Timmy Baderman calls people out on things that are secret. And then the same happens when Gage comes back. It talks to Judd in his dead wife's voice and says that she let all of his friends fuck her. And the thing was, everything what he tells Lewis before that happens is everything that the dead person said was true.
That's really scary. Like the way
Yeah.
you recapped it just then gave me chills.
Well, it's pretty good. It stuck with me. Well, I mean, I've read that book 4 or 5 times.
So I guess it's faithful to the book, but for me, it just
but they probably didn't handle it well.
It just didn't work for me.
Yeah, the execution probably was terrible.
Like it was just too much about the resurrected people and their havoc they're wreaking on this town.
Yeah.
And there's this backstory where it's the founders of of Ludlow.
Yeah.
So they have to have like some sort of come up, like they have to have this thing, right? Is it like the fog then, where they're cribbing
Yeah.
from that? Okay.
It's like, and there's like this microfiche moment where they discover these documents, and there's these families that are tied to their town because they're the descendants of the settlers,
Yeah.
and they have to stay there to keep the evil from getting out.
So if this wasn't a Pet Sematary movie, it might have been fun just for something that had familiar beats to it. Sounds
Yeah.
like to
Yeah,
me.
it's very
Yeah.
campy
Yeah.
because it's every horror trope. Like there's these weird symbols and masks and everything.
Sure.
It's just very anything that you think of that is stereotypically creepy in horror movies they throw in.
Yeah, that sucks. But again, they handle that flashback in the original adaptation. Is basically that there's a flashback that this movie represents. It's done really well. Go back in the original Pet Sematary. They do the flashback where he learns about Timmy Baderman.
Yeah. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's really good.
Because
this can be done
Yeah.
right. They just didn't.
Well, also, it could be that it needs to be framed with old Judd telling the story.
Yeah.
And it be brief and be a scary story, because you don't sit around a campfire and hear a 90-minute story. You know?
No, it's that's what's made it scary is that it was like just a glimpse.
Yeah, it leaves stuff to your imagination.
Well, in the novel, like when they came back from the dead, were they like speaking and everything? And
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah.
For me, I found it scarier when the original Pet Sematary, when Judd's telling the story and they showed like the Timmy Baderman character. He's kind of like
throwing a fit.
you know?
Yeah.
That was
Like-
scary.
That
Yeah.
they can't reason with him and he's uncontrollable.
Yeah.
That's scarier to me than in a resurrected person that has that can speak and everything. Yeah.
Well,
they're
Gage
sort of
did
like
later. I mean, in the original movie.
Gage talked in the and they're almost more like Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Like they're filled with something that's not that person.
That's an interesting sentence.
Thank you.
They're filled with something that is not that person.
Twinkies available in your pastry aisle.
Whoa. Full of
and
cream.
like Gage talked, but like these that come back, they're having like full sentences and everything, having conversations. To me, it just didn't work.
It sounds like they did not execute this very well at all.
Yeah.
And when they speak, it's very like all this flowery horror language.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Oh boy. Sepulchre and
Yeah.
Sepulchre. Karen.
Your Karens,
Your Karens
your
and
sepulchre,
your sepulchres. Portcullis.
your sepulchres,
Gates to hell.
your oubliettes.
Your oubliette.
What about your obelisks?
Your obelisks.
And like another one that just took me totally out of it. There's a scene in that at night where Judd is woken up from something at night, and this guy is jacked, like superhero body.
Judd is
Yeah?
Jack?
Yeah.
So it was this a silver lining moment for
gotta
you?
check
No,
Judd?
it just took me out of it because it's
Too sexy.
It was like comically muscular.
Ah.
Great body, but it just
Yeah.
took me out of it that this is
No gym in sight, right?
this is just a reminder that it's a movie, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, porch sitting really builds a lot of muscle.
Yeah, like you don't expect these little country boys to be like superhero jacked.
Except for the farmers. But Judd was no farmer, was
But
he?
they
Was he a
have
farmer?
like, but like farmers have like bodies that aren't like ripped. You know what I mean?
His body did not agree with Andy's character assessment.
Right. It doesn't make sense. You wanted a softer Judd.
Yes.
Dad bought a little,
Nothing wrong
dad
with
bought
that,
a little pinch of.
I'm a softer
Inch.
Judd myself.
Yeah.
We're more like Judd from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
You're not really like that. I wanted to make a Judd joke.
Have you seen the just a quick aside, the you know what Mid-Journey AI is, right? Where you can make it's like thing where you've it's an AI art program.
Oh, I stay as far away from all of that as I can.
It's evil, dark-sided, but there is a Reddit thread out there that's like the average man in each state and the average woman in each state.
I've seen this. There's no way that they just like did an average woman in Ohio because somebody was putting some fucking and
up
she's
shit.
fat and she's got
Yeah.
not in Ohio. I don't remember, but
Is it
like,
like Karen hair and stuff like that.
that's bad.
A lot of them are pretty offensive, but it's also kind of funny because they're like Garbage Pail Kid level, which is what they claim the AI just gave
No,
back
it's
to
like,
them.
It's like that link you sent us about that truck commercial.
Now that was pretty fucking funny.
Is
That
that, what
was funny.
Is that what the people look like in this
Yeah.
generation?
Yeah, they
thing?
look like that. But here's the weird thing: is some of them are randomly. You'll get like a beautiful person, like if it's California or something, and then if it's other countries, they're all beautiful people. But the minute it's like the average American, it's like Garbage Pail Kids. You're Garbage Pail Kids to the rest of the world. Apparently, AI thinks we're Garbage Pail Kids.
That sounds about right.
which kind of tickled
Fuck
me.
you, the rest of the world. You
Hey,
don't
man,
know.
I like being a Garbage Pail Kid. It's all right. You get to eat your boogers. Nobody bothers you about it.
You're a garbage
Oh.
pail man now.
I am a Garbage Pail man.
Yeah.
I had
You're
my,
not a kid anymore.
my Garbage
That's
Pail
right.
bar mitzvah.
Your Garbage Pail Kid days are long over.
I read from the wacky labels, and they said you were a man now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
Yeah, it's just not a recommend for me.
Fair
Well,
enough.
that is fair. Pet Cemetery Bloodlines. No, thank you.
Stay away from it.
Yeah, I did not dig it.
You should just go if
This movie should stay buried.
oh, something should just some dead.
Put it in the regular cemetery.
You're a regular Gene Shalit, Andy.
All right, you
I love
little-
shallot.
Regular real
So much flavor.
Gene salad.
Gene salad. It's got all kinds of denim bits and croutons in it.
All right, we're going to Hulu this time in a little movie called Room 203.
I like what you did with that.
When best friends Kim and Izzy move into a dark and mysterious apartment known as Room 203, they become convinced their new home is haunted by evil spirits.
One of my must-haves when I'm exploring realty is that it not be dark and mysterious.
Mysterious, sure, but like, let's get some lamps in there.
Must-haves.
All right, Jack and Jill sink.
I'm flexible,
Oh, okay.
It is nice to have, though.
but I
We-
don't
we-
want mysterious.
We only have one tiny little bathroom.
I know.
So we're like, can you hand me the toothpaste? And you're dumping out Here you go. Here's the toothpaste. You wanna
Let's
spin-
see
Oh,
who's-
yeah.
Gonna spin this thing. Let's spin this thing and see who's gonna review room 203. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-O. It's me.
Oh, thank Jesus. I thought for a second it was going to be me.
Hoisted on your own tartar sauce.
Oh, no.
How does that make you feel?
I like tartar sauce.
Me too. I'm so hungry, though.
Okay.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Ooh. How many action heroes do we have left?
Oh, man. One?
I think we're down to our last.
Nobody eat him.
I do what I want.
Was this... Who has seen this before?
Me not.
Saw it 30 years ago.
Same.
All right, you guys saw it 30 years ago. This is the first time I've seen it. The
And
whole
same.
time, I thought the last action hero was the Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, good movie, too.
Is that
Yeah.
the
Different
Gina Davis movie?
Gina Davis
Yeah,
and Samuel
great
Jackson.
movie.
She's a
Not the Long Kiss
undercover.
Goodnight. The Last Boy Scout.
The
That's
Last
what
Boy
I
Scout.
meant.
That's Damon Wayans.
Dane Wayans and
Wayans.
Bruce Willis.
That was good.
Damon Wayans.
You're
who makes
naming a lot of good movies.
I know. Who makes a cameo in this movie. But let's talk about it. Last action hero. Guess what? We all loved it except Andy.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it.
So I want you to lead the discussion, and we're going to
Okay.
convince you at every point.
Andy didn't want to kick it in the balls, but he doesn't want to go have lunch with it either.
Right.
Makes sense.
A quick lunch, maybe.
Oh, there's
quick lunch,
there's
okay.
no
And
"the"
fact,
in the
like,
title.
yeah. It's just Last Action Hero.
It's just Last
Is that
Action Hero.
like-
We got to remember that for the description.
Oh,
right?
shit.
It's like the Streisand effect, right? Or the Berenstain. But what's that one? Mandela.
Berenstain. Oh, wait.
Why
Wait.
is it the Mandela effect?
Because you remember there being a "the" in it?
Yeah.
One
Is that
day
one
No.
of those?
I don't remember there being a the in it. I was just saying it that way.
after Idiocracy, that's what Nelson Mandela will actually be remembered for is the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
He'll be remembered as the creator of the
The
Berenstain
creator.
Bears.
When the full idiocracy happens?
Yep. They'll be like the
They're not
great
far
man
off.
Nelson
It's
Mandela who wrote the
happening.
Berenstain Bears.
Right around the corner.
It's happening.
So what, John McTiernan, who brought us Predator and Die Hard prior to this.
Yeah, boy.
He's a cool dude. I hope he didn't get
We don't know anything about him.
Milkshake Duck, did
We
he?
don't have to ask. Let's just don't know.
We
I
don't
won't
know
wanna
him.
know.
We enjoy his output.
Yeah.
Okay. My God, I hear that in so many places nowadays where everybody's like, oh, I love that person. I'm saying right now on this date, I don't know anything, but what I just said, and, blah, blah, and everybody has to qualify it. Anyway, it's very funny.
Zach Penn, who wrote the story for this.
Penn
Isn't that funny?
What
a
he write it
writer?
with?
Is he a Sean Penn relation?
His name is spelled the same.
I'm going to hit my Zach Penn.
He wrote the original, or contributed to the story of the original Avengers movie. He also worked on a lot of other huge projects, but the flavor of this movie feels like Shane Black, who also worked for Marvel. He did the first Iron Man.
I think he might have some
but-
skeletons.
And the
in
third
his
one.
closet.
He has skeletons in his closet, from what I understand. Also, he worked on the Monster Squad. Predator.
Did you notice the was Sergeant Decker?
Yeah, I love that. Maybe one of my favorite performances in the movie is Decker, but I'm gonna let you keep going, Andy. I'm sorry.
California Raisins.
Oh my God, did you catch that line where he says,
We had subtitles on, so when
Yeah.
the Jack Slater's lieutenant's yelling at him and
Oh,
it's
it's-
gibberish.
Yeah,
It's not really, but
No, I heard Anne Frank at one point.
he said it's the California Raisins do an all male version of Anne Frank.
Yeah.
What's funny is I tried not to know exactly because I thought it was funnier just letting it be gibberish.
Like examples.
most of it
uh,
was gibberish. But there were some really classic lines throughout. This movie had great lines.
It really had
it's a
good
really good
dialogue.
movie.
This movie had. I didn't know. I just thought it was going to be like a cute little action movie.
I thought it was going to be a kids movie. I thought I knew exactly
Yeah.
what this movie
Me
was
too.
going to be.
It is not. It's like a Mel Brooks.
It is very Mel
farce
Brooksy.
of action heroes.
Kind of hot fuzzy.
And that's
Yeah.
where they lost me. When as soon as you said Mel Brooks, I'm like, oh no.
That's right.
No.
Andy was like, "Oh, I guess I don't like
Here
it."
you go. Quick sample of the script. Decker.
kidding.
This
I
is
know
a
you didn't
Decker
really.
monologue. This whole monologue was delivered in 10 seconds or less by him. I won't It's you suck the blood out of cotton picking toes I can take from you. I got the California Raisins cast and doing an all-male version of the Diary of Anne Frank, doing the all-male version in my Frizzasibba. Tiny Tim has stepped onto a totem. So what? You ball-peen jackaminis?
This sounds like the bad lip reading people wrote it.
Yeah. I'll slap the mouth out all the cock-sucking tails I can take from you, Frittatine. Then he said, you take the mare in the library bush. You're never gonna azzy-bazzies down at the beach. Go down to the beaches, You take the chicken out of the bag and stick it up. But he said all that so fast, like the Micro Machines, man.
It sounds like when your dad used to... The transcriptions from your dad's
oh yes,
yeah.
Speech to text on Freddy's voice
to text was hilarious. But oh my God, there's so many funny moments in this movie and crazy casting.
First of all, I got hung up on the idea that Houdini was part of the story. So, because Houdini was like a very out and proud skeptic.
Yeah.
He was not a real magician.
But remember what they said.
Yeah.
Don't nitpick it.
Oh, you're right. They did say that.
They
in this
build that
movie.
shit right in. It's one of the things I love about it.
That's true. I won't. Done.
And they reinforce it too with other bits of dialogue too. Which
Yeah.
I'll try to find examples as you guys talk, because the dialogue in this, I told Amy, I was like, I had no idea how well written this movie
It's
was.
very tight.
Yeah.
Funny.
But
Anyway.
it took like 4 writers or 5 writers to do it, but they fucking pulled it off like crazy.
What's the name of the movie in Sunny? It's Always Sunny?
Thunder Gun.
Thunder Gun. And then there was a little bit of the, what was the Lethal Weapon thing they did?
Lethal Weapons. It was 5, 6, 7,
right.
and then they were going to do 8 at the end
It
of
was
7.
just Lethal Weapon. Anyway, sorry. Jack Slater is the action hero. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger playing Jack Slater. Major Thunder Gun vibes, but nobody got naked.
Super Thunder Gun.
And there was no full penetration.
See, here's the thing. I'm going to say, to me, action movies it's hard to parody them because they're so almost to parody themselves already.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And to parody them, you need to go big, like what...
cartoon cat, Andy. Was that not
that
big
was
enough?
amazing.
Subtle for me.
Danny DeVito.
It was Danny DeVito.
I was amused. I wasn't like...
They had RoboCops in the police department.
Bogart
They had a black and white hologram of Bogart.
as a cop. I like that anybody can be a cop. I told Amy I'd watch a series set in this
kid?
world. Yeah, they make the kid, they deputize the kid right there.
Well, yours his partner.
I like when they were matching up, like the rabbi and the lieutenant.
That was cute.
I like these parts.
Yeah.
But for me, I think, for me personally, you need to go big.
Bigger than that.
Because...
How do you go bigger than that, out of curiosity?
like Thunder Gun or that...
But you can't just say a movie. Give me an example of what
That
they did in Thunder
movie-
Gun.
that Troy gave us, the animated one.
So you think that was Chuck versus... It was like that Chuck Steele movie.
Yes.
Where it's claymation. I mean, you were over here for that, weren't you?
Yeah, that short.
No, it was a feature.
It wasn't. I watched a 45-minute thing, and then I think they didn't. Wasn't there originally a short?
Oh, there might have been. I've never seen the short.
Maybe I didn't watch this at all. I did not watch the animated movie at all.
Oh, it's you'd love it. If you like this, you'd like that. And Andy, you're right that definitely is a bigger, but it's also claymation.
That's why, I laughed at this movie, but I laughed out loud. I was guffawing at that one.
Yeah.
I was amused by certain parts, when Jack Slater, he gets to his own apartment and he shoots the closet right away and a ninja falls out.
That was hilarious.
And he has the same wardrobe, just a series of red t-shirts and leather jackets. I like little moments like that.
Yeah.
And I like when they get to the police station and you see all these stereotypical cops, like the black and white version, the cartoon version, and just things like that. And I loved Bridget Wilson, her character.
Veronica Vaughn.
And
first
just
movie.
The
One
fight where
piece
she's just,
of ace.
Hey, that's Bridget Wilson Sampras to you.
and she's just screaming all the time.
Yes, all that screaming.
That was funny.
I like moments like that,
Yeah.
but I never
Did you catch the henchman? I'm sorry, Anna, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Keep
I
going.
just never laughed out loud.
Did you notice?
I did.
You know
I
what
laughed out loud
It
constantly.
hit me in the right way.
Me too, man. Like when he drives up on the lawn, just like through the water, and the people are just walking in calmly. It's just all these goofy action things that happen.
Well, I
and-
said to Amy, I think he's just supposed to be a bad driver. I think the joke is that you're supposed to think he's like this amazing driver, but he's just. It's just because
It's
he's
just
lucky
terrible.
in the
Yeah, he
movie.
just jumps over the fucking thing. It's really because in that world, it's like a cartoon.
The Rottweilers.
It was.
I like it when they stacked up on each other.
He just snapped his
See,
fingers.
I'm more of a Zucker Brothers Wayans like.
You want more. You want it to lean in even more than what
Yeah,
this did.
it's like
I get
Scary
it.
Movie or I'm gonna get you sucker
This
type.
movie
of
tried-
I'm that.
Oh, I'm gonna
that's
get you
my
sucker
type
is
of more
hilarious.
comedy. I don't
Yeah.
like the subtle Mel Brooksian stuff.
I think this movie was trying to actually still kind of be an action
You prefer
movie.
spoof over satire.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Like this is a satire of action movies,
Yeah.
and you're
I
talking
like,
about spoofs.
I like being spoon-fed stuff.
But how do you feel about Hot Fuzz? Because I do feel
Oh,
like this shares a lot with Hot
I never
Fuzz.
saw that. I'm not the biggest Simon Pegg fan.
Oh,
in the
all
first
right. Well,
place.
then that tracks because I felt like this was very Hot Fuzzy.
Was it fuzzy?
I mean, actually, obviously, this went even further than Hot Fuzz because this, had a lot of fantasy elements to it. But
And I would say that I feel that it needed stronger actors.
Oh, disagreed on 100%.
I
I could
thought
not disagree with
everybody
you more
was-
about that.
I
This
was
was an
fine.
awesome cast.
Charles Dance is
No,
like,
Charles Dance was good, but I felt that,
Ian McKellen,
but he was barely in the movie.
Danny DeVito, Art Carney,
I'm talking about lead actors.
Mercedes Rule, the kid was great.
I don't think he was that good.
Oh, I liked him. I thought he was
And-
really
Loved
good.
for 80s movie kid.
Yeah.
I thought he did pretty good.
For like Arnold is not the
90s
best actor.
movie.
No, but I
that's
thought
a
this
fair
was,
assessment.
I thought, well, sure, of
But
course.
for me, I
I thought
like,
this was a really good role for him.
and he like his performances are almost like a parody of themselves, and I need him to go bigger. I don't think he is able to go bigger.
What's bigger than that fucking Blockbuster scene? Where the women working there are wearing like
I'm just saying,
bustiers,
his performance as Jack Slayer is not much different than.
and then they leave
Right.
the Blockbuster.
And
There's
then-
a bunch of women dressed in these crazy,
yeah.
sexy, like, because just in the movie world, everybody's sexy and beautiful.
And that's what the kid even points out. It's amazing that they did that.
And I love he has a comeback to. He says, "Well, this is California."
Yeah.
yeah, and I like it, like the area code line.
Yeah.
about the
Yeah, that was
555.
hilarious.
It's like it doesn't make sense because he could predict the phone numbers.
Yeah, their world makes sense to them.
Yes, but to me, I've like his performance as Slater is not much different than any other performance I've seen him in.
It's hard to gauge.
yeah, I mean, he's kind of always a little
Yeah,
bit
that's what I'm
Arnold
saying.
Schwarzenegger.
Because like when it's like a satire, a parody, you
He is
think
not a
it
character
needs to be
actor.
obvious, more obvious to me.
He is the epitome of like action hero, though, so it works for this satire.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
did think I thought he was doing like that whole like I'm just like these are all the tropes in one kind of sort of super programmed bland character. You know what
Well,
I mean?
he talks about like I watched the documentary about they did for Netflix about him, and it was really interesting. But like I think he understood he was not a good actor, and
Yeah.
he was like, I tried a little hard. Well,
Yeah.
I just want to say he tried a little harder every time, and would seek guidance from people like Danny DeVito, who was the voice of the cat in this, to try. So yeah, he is not. But the comment to say that the acting in general, though, like with F. Murray Abraham and Tom Noonan and
Tom fucking Noonan.
and who played Nick was Robert.
Oh,
Krause.
Will Darnell from Christine.
yeah.
Robert Trotsky or
Like,
Trotsky.
The acting in this is the last thing I think you can really criticize.
I'm
too
talking
deeply.
about the lead actors.
Just him. I got you.
The lead actors.
You mean just Schwarzenegger and
Schwarzenegger
the
and
kid.
the kid.
You didn't like the kid either. Okay.
When those are the people on the screen, 90% of the movie, for me, I'd need better actors to convey.
You want it perfection. You want like this supporting cast, which I understand why you would want that. I want it too.
To me, the supporting cast was great.
Yeah, the supporting cast features heavily in this movie. Like I was telling Amy, I said there's not a lot of Schwarzenegger really. I mean, they have whole chunks of the movie where he's not on camera.
Yeah.
For good reason, for the reason you said. Yeah, I agree with you on that, Andy. I just feel like the execution of bringing the supporting cast forward was the right choice, but it is not a perfect movie. I wouldn't argue that, but the kid, I could see some problems with the kid's performance, but for a legitimate child actor, I thought he did pretty good.
Well, and I got to tell you, like for me, I think one of the things that worked best was just how tight everything like the fact that they had F. Murray Abraham, and then they kept bringing up that he was Salieri in Amadeus, and they had all these Mozart motifs, and it was it was a part of the plot. Like even the fact that he was like, "Is that Mozart?" And it came back to the fact that that his partner. In our world, played the guy who killed Amadeus Mozart. Like, it was so fucking tight. It was wheels within wheels turning.
All the leitmotif they lifted from Mozart in the score.
I did.
I paused it for Amy and went back and played it again. I said, "Listen real closely. It's 4 notes, but it's Mozart."
I said it to Alise. I was like, "Oh shit!" They're like everything is so fucking tight.
Please tell me that you at least laughed about Leo the fart.
I did. No, I laughed. I just didn't.
Which is maybe the Mel Brooksiest part of the whole movie.
And they put a fucking gas
You want
bomb.
more Leo the fart, though, don't you?
To arm him.
He pulled the finger to
That was funny.
I did, like he fell into the LeBray Park pits and the little gas boat pops up.
Silent but deadly.
I was amused by this movie. I wasn't blown away.
We're not going to try to convince you to love it, Andy. You're safe here.
That was the first ending. I do have a criticism. It was way too long.
Yeah,
and it had
this
like
movie has
5
no right to be
endings.
2 hours and 10 minutes
10
long.
minutes.
It's a lot.
If there was something, I agree. Now, I love this movie. Like this for me is an all the way A. But I do agree that it could have lost a bit of ending and not had any. It would have been maybe even tighter.
Yeah, there's 2 movies in here.
Yeah.
Where the kid goes into the movie and is pointing out all the ridiculousness, and when the villain jumps into our world, that's it. Just
you didn't like that they came back to reality.
No, I like that. It's
you do.
To me,
Okay.
it's just 2 movies, and
Well, see, to me that's I said to Amy at that same moment, I said, "Wow, they're going back into the real world. This is kind of amazing." I felt satisfied already.
I did. Well, same.
It felt like icing on the cake to me.
To me, it was just too much. Like that's why it felt like 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Some people scrape the icing off of cupcakes,
and I can see
that's what I'm that
you're
person.
one of them.
I can see why. You've like because again, I did like the fact that they came back to the real world, and I wanted to see a little of that. Like I wanted to see him like I love him realizing that it hurts to punch out a fucking window, or when you shoot people. And I even kind of like I like seeing a little bit of that, but then I feel like it could have wrapped up very quickly in the movie theater and then moved on. But I didn't mind the stuff later either, because first of all, I loved when they actually go to the movie premiere and Jack Slater meets Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Schwarzenegger's and like him and Maria Shriver's conversation, she's like, "It's just tacky."
I thought that
like
was
don't
gonna
bring
be
up the
stupid.
restaurant.
Yeah,
I like it when
it worked.
Arnold goes away from the action hero and does like the little silly Barts when he's talking about Planet Hollywood.
Yeah, that was fucking great.
You guys remember Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, and all the celebrity, and he can't not do it. She tells him not to do it, and he does it anyway.
Food there is terrible though.
And
so greasy.
You're not going there for the food.
It was really fun. I thought that was really funny, so I didn't mind it. Again, it could have been not there. It would have been okay, but I laughed so much during that whole sequence.
All the weird cameos, like Chevy Chase, like
MC
doing
Hammer.
a
MC
fall.
Hammer. MC Hammer.
MC
Jean-Claude Van
Hammer.
Damme.
Who else did you spot? Like there were a lot in that scene. I mean, there's
Blank. Damon Wayans wearing a blank man hat.
Yeah.
John Belushi was in there.
John, or was it John? It was Jim Belushi.
Jim Belushi.
Jim, sorry.
Yeah, John Belushi had died already.
The less talented.
Agreed. You don't have to whisper that. Everybody
Less
knows.
talented one.
And they even mentioned Tom Noonan. Like they thought the villain was Tom Noonan.
Dude, that was so.
Oh, I
It
love
was
his,
so great.
his agent. I love that actor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who was it again?
He was from the Burbs.
Rick
remember?
Duke.
Oh yeah, Rick.
He died.
Dukeman.
I forgot about that, Andy.
Yeah,
I'm glad you remembered
Rick
it.
Dukeman.
Hey,
So funny.
I'm pretty
that
sure
guy.
that was him, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
it
it
was
was
him.
definitely him. Yeah.
6 Degrees of Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette. Tom Noonan was on a very good episode of The X-Files called Paper Hearts,
Yes.
where you're like, did the serial killer kill Mulder's sister and not, she
Yeah.
wasn't really
I remember
abducted by
that
aliens.
one.
It was very emotional.
Yeah, he was very creepy.
Oh, golly.
He's super creepy in this.
He does a great
Yeah.
serial killer, and I did like that idea that the Benedict character was going into other movies. I loved him
The
releasing
monologue.
death. Like, it was really
Death.
cool.
Did you hold up? I pulled that up because I was so and you know what?
For
This
accidentally releasing.
Charles Dance,
Yeah,
right?
Charles Dance.
Okay,
Tywin Lannister.
this
Tywin
should tell
Lannister, he died on the toilet.
you he did die on the toilet. Give me 1 second because I had it pulled up, but I got to
He's
grab
a
it
bit
again.
of a like. Oh yeah, I've been watching this guy for years. I didn't even notice.
He did. I told Alise today. The first thing I think he was in a Phantom of the Opera TV movie with Terry Polo.
Whoa.
In the 80s. It was when Phantom of the Opera was really popular, and I was into it because I was super into that.
I know.
Tom Noonan was in
I
that.
had no idea he was a ginger.
We're talking
No,
about.
Charles Dance.
Charles Dance.
Charles
sorry.
Dance played Eric the Phantom.
I didn't know he was a ginger.
I didn't
Because
either.
I've only remember him as
As an older gentleman.
Yeah.
I didn't know he only had one
Yeah,
eye.
good looking guy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love that dude.
I like to take that Charles. I'd like to do a Charles.
Take that dance. You do a dance with him. What about now? Like old Charles Dance? Do you
He's
think
still
he's still
handsome,
pretty handsome?
yeah.
I do too. Yeah. He says as the character Benedict when they're at the rooftop climax and after the Ripper has been successfully dispatched. Which you guys want to talk about that before I talk about this, just to keep the order of things.
I don't remember how he died.
Oh
They
yeah,
recreate the beginning of the movie.
Where
he
Jack
th-
Slater's son had died.
except he throws the kid off of the.
He killed his son. Yeah, I was looking at Amy. I was like, did he really? In the beginning of the movie, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, did he really kill his son? That's kind of dark. So for what I'm feeling, this movie is so far.
Yeah,
And then they don't mention him. And then
Until
the
the
daughter,
end.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then the end when they bring. I thought
they show him like
Going
him
over.
grabbing him while he's falling, and basically the kid falls to his death.
yeah, that was heavy. Like because the rest of the movie's so silly.
but that's part of it because that shit is what all of those like action cops
Oh, yeah.
backgrounds
I
are.
said that to
All of
her
them.
too. You
They're
have
all
to
their
do
wife
it.
has been killed by the serial killer they've been tracking, and like
Yeah.
it's like but they just keep making like they keep going on like
Oh, the
Like Jerry
Sisyphus.
Cocaine.
yeah like jelly cocaine.
Jerry Cocaine.
Like he's like a Sisyphus character. Like when he tells him, like you can die, but once the grosses go down, you can die.
Yeah.
But so they're recreating the scene where Jack's son had been murdered by
But
the
now
Ripper,
it's the kid with the Ripper.
and now it's the kid with the Ripper who Benedict has pulled out of the original Jack Slater movie and brought here. But he's holding the ticket up and he says, "Gentlemen, since you're about to die anyway," and Charles Dance says this is way better. It's like one of the best monologues I've ever heard. I may as well tell you the entire plot because the villains always explain in this. Per tradition. Think of villains, Jack. You want Dracula? Dracula?
It's great.
He
Yeah.
says, hang on. I'll fetch him. Dracula, huh? I can get King Kong. That part. When he says, I can get
Yeah.
King Kong, my imagination explodes.
Oh,
Get
yeah.
King Kong to listen to you though.
And he says, we'll have a nightmare with Freddy Krueger, have a surprise party for Adolf Hitler. Hannibal Lecter can do the catering, and then we'll have christening for Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool little monologue.
Great line. And he says, all I have to do is snap my fingers and you'll be here, or they'll be here. You're lining up to get here, or they're lining up to get here. And do you know why, Jack? Should I tell you why? Because here in this world, the bad guys can win.
Can win, yeah.
Well, yeah, they do all the time.
And that's another a problem for me was it took a while for the conflict to arise. It's the
Which
threat
conflict?
of Charles Dance, the threat of him going into different worlds.
Well,
and-
first you had to start with the kid trying to convince Jack, so that took a long
Yeah,
time.
so, like-
it could have been tightened.
So
For sure.
to I wasn't invested in the outcome because I didn't know what they were leading up to.
Right.
Yeah.
It just took a while to get there. For
It's
me.
interesting. Don't you feel like this was a proving ground for what they do in Marvel too? Like obviously, because I was saying that guy Penn has worked on these
Yeah.
Marvel movies. The idea that you stage multiple climaxes throughout
Yeah.
your movie instead of just having one.
That's how I like it.
But even the first climax didn't come into like an hour and a half into the movie
What do you consider the first climax?
Leo the fart.
of him like getting into our world and the threat of him.
Yeah. Because I consider
pulling
the
all
first
these-
climax the kid crossing the movie screen. To me, that feels like the first climax because it already feels. I think they had established a really solid New York world with Mercedes Rule and this very realistic thing and this kid's horrible life where every time you see his hands, they're busted and bleeding and like he's just this kid has
But
a
to me,
hard
and
life.
also like there wasn't as much of a contrast between the movie world and the New York. It seemed
Yeah.
very movie to me.
Oh, the New York version
Yeah.
seemed too movie to you?
I mean, it's still probably a set.
Yeah. But there wasn't as like any more contrast between the two worlds. It was you know,
Visually, you mean? Yeah. I thought they would at least change aspect ratio. Like when they I said, Amy, pay attention because I know they go into them. I'm going to see if
It didn't happen.
They didn't do that, which maybe they thought was hack or maybe they didn't think of it. But
I did think it looked. I thought it had 2 different looks.
well, color and lighting, yes, but like I think like
I mean, I know it didn't have a different
set-
aspect
yeah,
ratio.
Yeah,
but,
well, also when I think it is kind of more apparent when they go back.
yeah, I think when they go back, it feels so grimy.
When they go back to the movie world at the
Yeah.
end, I think you do see more of the contrast than it is when they first cross over.
Yeah.
I think that's probably just your like the brain is like it's like adjusting to light.
Well,
in
you're
a
still
room.
trying to figure out what the movie is when they first go in there.
Yeah.
The 2 jokes that are still sticking with me is that it's his second cousin Frank, his favorite second
Art
cousin.
Carney.
Art Carney.
Frank. I thought that was very
Which
cute.
another, not to, I don't want to interrupt
no,
you.
go ahead.
But another trope is the like bringing, using these old timey like grand actors to like play these bit parts in these big budget action movies
Oh man,
as villains.
I would have. And I know you said the movie's already too long, but like the scene with Charles Dance talking to
Oh, it was great. Talking
in the pool?
to Anthony Quinn.
yes,
Yeah.
Anthony Quinn, the other Anthony Quinn.
Just making him feel stupid. like
That
talking
house was gross.
Because he gets
Yeah,
all the
it was,
sayings wrong.
Yeah.
yeah, but that whole back and forth, I was like, I would have loved this movie to bend more dialogue.
Honestly, I wish it would have been more about the villain.
Oh, the villains were the best
No,
part
like
of the movie.
the Charles Dance character and how he's like a put upon henchman.
Well, did you notice? I forgot.
Man, they had some henchmen with the thickest necks I've ever seen.
Yeah, in that scene earlier when they come to get Bridget Wilson's character, Slater's daughter, there's one henchman that's just put out no matter what he's asked to do, which is just a very subtle performance that I wouldn't probably have noticed had we not been watching so many comedies lately. But this guy is just, every time Charles Dance asks him to do something, he just kind of sighs.
Yeah.
It's fucking funny.
It is funny.
They're great
The-
performances in this movie.
The second thing that made me laugh very hard is you think Jack Slater's ex-wife is calling him every day and always nagging him, but it turns out he just calls. He pays a cashier down the street to call and pretend to be his ex-wife. That's sad and also
Super
fucking
sad.
funny.
Yeah.
It's sad because
why.
it's extra sad because he also puts on a show
He's
for
not
the
real.
people he works with that as if he doesn't want to talk to her.
Well, and it's even what I actually love about that also is it's sad within that movie where if she was calling him every day, it would make sense for that to happen. So for that to be what's actually going on in that world
Yeah.
is like a second level of
It is
sad.
a second level
Yeah.
of sad.
Well,
Because it's a fantasy
Yeah.
With
world
his
to begin with.
empty
Yeah.
apartment.
And the
Exactly.
kid kept saying like, your ex-wife's not in this. She's not in the credits. like I said, it had glimpses, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the sum of its parts for me.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant foreshadowing there.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this shit out of myself.
I did too. I thought it was tight AF.
Yeah.
Good movie. Good time.
Excellent.
Sure.
I know,
Or just
Andy,
okay.
I'm sorry.
There are people who are more like Andy, so don't take what we have to say for
It was a huge
Don't
bomb,
take our
I
word
think.
for it, as LeVar Burton would say.
According to the trivia, this was NASA put an ad in space, and this was the first ad ever in space.
How
Was
does
for
that
this
work?
movie.
Did you notice that Stephen King's Sleepwalkers was on
Yeah.
the movie ads continuously? A not good movie that came
and
out not too long before.
At
this
the
movie.
Blockbuster, I want to point out like little glimpses of brilliance that I saw. The poster for Terminator 2.
Oh my God, that was
Sylvester
amazing.
Stallone.
Yeah.
That was
He's
funny.
like, that guy is really good.
Well, it's funny too. Like I appreciate when later in the movie and they go, he's like, "We're here to kill drug dealers." When they first, because he's joking with Odd Job.
Well,
right?
that wasn't.
Isn't it Odd Job?
It wasn't. We looked it up because I was like, oh, that's the dude that
Butler
kills people.
from Pee Wee Herman, wasn't it?
Oh, it's not.
Is it the same
Maybe.
Butler from
It
Pee Wee
Looked like
Herman?
him. Anyways,
But it was not Odd Job.
The henchman.
We did look it up,
maybe it's the costume.
so you can feel better about it.
Because
Yeah.
it just gave me a Pee Wee moment because like when Pee Wee goes to Francis's house,
Yes.
and like it's the same scene where he opens the door and he's the butler.
Yeah.
I
What-
think it's him.
It might be Odd Job. We look. It's not random.
not random task. Well, I can check real quick.
All right. So what was the point you were trying to make?
The scene was Arnold. This goes back to Andy pointing out that cardboard cutout with Stallone on it, where Arnold says, "I'll be back" as a joke to the kid.
Yeah.
He's not just throwing it in there for it's not for the audience. It's for the kid to kind of jab him a little bit and be like, "Oh, I guess that's what I'm gonna say, right?"
Yeah.
He's like, "That's what you always say."
It was a really great. Yeah.
It was pretty.
A lot of good meta, really good
Handled
self-aware meta stuff. Way before Scream, not
Way
way
before.
before, but 3 years before.
The F word was another
right.
great point where he wrote the F word down and said, "Read this."
Oh, yeah.
But then they said it
they don't
later.
tell you what it was
Did they
written.
say?
You're just
Maybe it is.
assuming. But
Yeah.
You get one,
the,
though, right?
The lieutenant
That's
said it.
Because
in
you get
his
one.
rant. Okay. Last Action Hero. Good movie.
Good movie.
So, do we want to vote live on air for what we're going to do next week? Antoine gave me his picks.
I'm voting for Last Shot of the Dead. That's
One
what it's
Cut
called.
of
One
the
Cut of
Dead.
the Dead. Because I feel that's more
It's a good
fits
movie.
the theme better.
It's a lot of fun.
Is One Cut of the Dead a Romero movie?
No.
No, it's an Asian movie where it's a movie within a movie, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that's the theme.
Well, no, I don't want. It is, but I don't want you to say too much.
I'm not going to tell you what and what way it is.
What do you?
You've seen it, right, Andy?
Yeah.
Wasn't it really good?
What do you think?
Oh, well, let's do that.
All right. You into it, Friday?
Absolutely.
One Cut of the Dead. It is. How exciting!
Yay!
And that'll be
still
our
trying
final
to-
episode.
Very efficient movie too.
Of the theme.
All right.
It's not 2 hours and 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
I don't think he was Odd Job, by the way.
Decent.
I was looking just to be sure. He was in Revenge of the Ninja, though, which I love.
All right. Well, at the end of every show,
Every show.
we say hi to our Beelzebubs.
I is.
You're right, Andy. He was the butler in Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Oh!
Isn't it good to be right?
There's another callback.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. That's how you become a Beelzebub. And if that's something you're into, look into that. I'm going to start with this list. Alyse.
Oh my goodness, I can't wait to see
Oh,
you.
she has a birthday coming up, doesn't
Happy
she?
birthday.
She does tomorrow.
Yeah,
Happy
tomorrow.
birthday.
Almost to you. Alyssa. Branan and Emily. Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
Oh, great one. I don't really. I mean, it's like nothing you've ever seen before.
Dr. Brian. Dr. Brian, help us. Old Dirty Bill Sturd. Bill Farner. Frosted Blakes. Blayne Yogurt.
Makes me want some yogurt.
I know, I'm so hungry. Jordache jeans. And I just want some jeans. I crave jeans. Paul.
Like the things that contain the material to make life.
Yeah.
Do you just crave them?
Crave.
You want to possess
Doing
them?
some DNA.
She just eats embryos all day.
Paul, I'll say your name again.
Dinosaur.
Jeremy, Cassie, Gamora, Ernie,
Mr. DNA.
Dave Siebert, Monica, and Dustin.
Dustin,
Thanks so much, everybody.
Did you hear that Mr. DNA was just here?
What
I
the
did.
fuck?
He's gone though.
Mr. DNA stained all over your pants.
Oh no!
All right, everybody, have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Cluck, cluck, gobble, gobble. Bye.
day. Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on Dawn